Angela, I'm sure this is true for you too. Before you start a new job, there has to be a plan in place. You can't just walk into a customer's home and with your cleaning supplies and just get started. You need to take the time to get to know their expectations and make a plan for that, which is exactly what you were saying, Monica, about having a plan before you get started with your renovations. So, would you say that that's the first step that you need to do? Can you walk us through a little bit of that? Like, what would make a successful home renovation project from that beginning phase?
Sure. So the first is realizing that the project has the four phases, right? It's not just the work itself. No, it's not just when there is banging and dust and workers in your house, right? The second is most people fail to make the very first and absolutely critical decision, which is choosing their focus. So no matter how big the project is or how small the project is, every project has three organizing components, and it is quality, budget, and schedule. I will use my example to illustrate this. When I bought my house, I didn't have unlimited financial resources. So my focus was really budget. So I decided, it became clear to me when I really give it enough thought, that I had no business putting an addition to my home. And I had no business going to some posh boutiques with building materials where, one piece of handmade tile was $45. Instead, I decided to keep my home within the existing footprint, and I actually created the second floor. This living room actually had a cathedral ceiling, which, as I said before, I had discovered I didn't care for. So I just added the flooring system, creating additional bedroom, bathroom, and a walk-in closet on the second floor without spending the money that I would have needed to excavate, which is, dig a hole, pour foundation, and frame another room outside of my existing footprint. So making this a very first critical decision is cutting on the decision burnout. I see so many people totally unclear as to where they are. So you need to decide what it is that you care about and stick to it. Be very disciplined. If your main focus is schedule, meaning the time it takes for your project from A to Z, then you need to be prepared to perhaps spend more money to expedite, because perhaps there will have to be two shifts when your project is in construction to keep the work going. You might have to settle for a lesser quality because things with better quality are time consuming, right? So choosing that focus is saving so much of your energy and putting your project and yourself on a very clear path, right? So again, understanding that there are four phases, making the first critical decision, educating yourself, and understanding that unless you are professionally trained, you should hire a contractor who is going to manage everyone in your project. They will be responsible for the execution, and there has to be someone responsible for documentation. A lot of horror stories stem from the fact that people have no clear understanding of what is called scope of work. And it has to be expressed in drawings, schedules, interior elevations, building cross sections, lists, sketches, plans, all of that. A lot of people don't really understand that, and it's key. So there is documentation, and it's best left in the hands of a design professional, whether it is an architect, if you have a bigger project and you have to hire someone who is licensed, which will be necessary for your building permit. The execution is best left for the contractor, and you have the very important third aspect of the project to take care of, which is decision making. If your project is small, you can take upon yourself the tasks and responsibilities of a design professional or a contractor, but there are like 27 tasks and responsibilities of a contractor and architect, and 32 tasks and responsibilities of a contractor. So there is a lot to take on, and I encourage people to hire professional so that they are really supported.